directions. So Prequest number one, Prequest number one, problem number one. Here we go. Convert to rectangular coordinates. All right, I'm going to ask you guys one more time. I need you quiet and paying attention. We're doing review now, okay? And Paul, you've been pretty good today. I appreciate that. 3, 162. This is R and theta. Your job is to find X and Y. Well, shoot, we've done that a ton today. How do you find X? What does X equal? X equals 3 cosine 162, and Y equals 3 sine 162. So, type it in on our calculator. It doesn't tell us how to round. Let's just do the 100. So 3 cosine 162. Negative 2.85 is my X, and 3 sine 162, 0.93 is my Y. Now, do you notice that I'm not doing the plus I thing? I'm writing it in parentheses as an ordered pair. That's because the problem is written that way. When the problem is written in parentheses, like ordered pair, something, comma, something, then your answer is going to be something, comma, something, okay? Every time. What about the degree marks? This is X and Y. These aren't degrees, these aren't angles. That's an X and a Y. Now, number 2 is exactly the opposite of that. Number 2 says, I know X and Y. Now I need to find R and theta. Well, you've done that several times today too. How do we figure out our R and our theta? How do we do that? Avery? Are we supposed to be wearing that shirt today?
No, I thought I got it.
Huh?
I thought I got it before.
Yeah, I suppose you don't have a uniform shirt on underneath it.
No.
So you can't take it off, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Right. You can, but then you're still not in uniform, that's my point. Right. Alright, how do we find R and theta? We've been doing it all day here. What do? Graph it. So we're going to draw a picture. Nancy, is that college sweatshirt you're wearing there?
No, but this is one.
Well, why don't we put it on then? What kind of sweatshirt do you have on, people Worsley?
Why are you so hungover?
We're getting quite a list here today.
Oh, the name goes down. I'll see you guys in detention tomorrow morning.
That's a detention?
Yeah.
Being not in uniform is a detention, yeah. Now, if you have a uniform, if you can get in uniform like she did, okay. Can you get in uniform?
Like I got over here. Oh, can a college shirt count?
No.
No, I can't do that.
What's our radius? We're looking for a radius.
Oh, no. What?
Now, this is theta. This is theta. How am I going to find this one?
Tangent, -4.
Well, we're doing 5. A second tangent.
-4.
You can take or leave the negative. It's fine. You can use it or not use it. So second tangent 4/3. What's the number? So 53.13.
306.
So what's my theta? My theta is not 53.
It's
my theta 306.87.
You choose it Friday?
Okay?
I wish.
You can put it in that.
I wish it was.
All right. Next. Number 3.
You want me to expose you now or later?
All right, here we go. 2 plus 3i. Our job is to change that into polar form, which is what we learned today. That means, remember, this is x plus yi. So I'm going to draw a picture of it over to a 3. This is going to be r, and r will be what in this problem?
13.
Square root of 13. And then I need my angle, which luckily is that. I don't even need to fix it. So whatever it says, I'm good. Second tangent, 3/2. 56.31. So root 13, CIS 56.31 is my answer. Now, problem 2 and problem 3 had exactly the same kind of math. Didn't I draw a picture of both and figure out what the angle was? Now, the difference is how I wrote my answer. This one was a something, comma, something, and this one was a CIS. What made problem 2 and problem 3 different? Look at the question. What made it different?
The 3, it has an I in it.
Exactly. And if it has an I in it, it has to have an I in the answer. Problem 2 started out as something, comma, something. So it ends up as something, comma, something. Problem 3 started out with an I, so when I change it, it still has to have an I. Number 4, 5 CIS 100. I need to change that into complex form, rectangular form. That means x plus yi. How do I find x and y?
X equals 5%.
Exactly. X equals 5 cosine 100, y equals 5 sine 100. When you write your answer, your two numbers are negative 0.87 and 4.92. Now I have to decide, am I going to put those like this? Am I going to do this with them?
No, but you have to put
No, I have to put an I on it. So it's going to be this plus that I. Because in complex form, it's x plus yi. Same x, same y, just written as x plus yi. Okay, number 5. Did I do all those? That went fast. Okay, number 5. Convert to a polar equation. Does anybody remember how to convert to a polar equation? Did you hear what Ollie said? Probably not. X is always r cosine theta. So I'm going to take out the X and replace it with r cosine theta. And then guess what I'm going to do with the y? Replace it with r sine theta. And that's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's all there is to it. Let's get through a couple more. Number 6. Marissa, Luke. Now these are a little bit harder. Not hard, but a little bit harder. These are super simple. To change to a polar equation, you just put in r cosine and r sine. Easy. Did anybody remember this? This was a 3-step process. First thing we do is put in our function. What is sine equal to? It's a fraction. No, y over r. So I put in y over r for my sine. Then I multiply by whatever my denominator is. So that would be r. So I'm going to multiply both sides by r. And then what's r squared? X squared plus y squared. Yep. Now, if this looks strange to you or you don't remember one bit, go back and look at your notes. We did a whole bunch of problems just like that. That's why we're reviewing, to kind of shake some of the cobwebs out. All right, number 7, we actually just talked about today. This is the last one we're going to do, number 7. Let's get number 7 done, the last one. We'll do the rest of the review next time. All right, so here we go. I need to multiply these two numbers together. So 6 CIS 100 and 8 CIS 150. I need to multiply them together. Okay. So the rule says multiply the r's and add the angles.
But it's negative.
Is there anything wrong with that angle? Is 250 okay? Yeah, 250 is fine. So I'm done. That's it. That's the answer. I multiply the r's and I add the angles. Now, what if I'm doing a division? 6 CIS 100 divided by 8 CIS 150.
3/4 CIS.
So 3/4, that's 6 divided by 8. And then CIS 100 minus 150, which would be negative 50. What about that? Can't have a negative. So what's going to be my positive equivalent?
Plus.
310 degrees. That's the answer. How did we get 310? Negative 50 plus 360 is 310.
Can you repeat exactly what's on the quiz Wednesday?
The quiz on Wednesday is going to be all the stuff about graphing, like the practice quiz that we did. But all the questions were like, how many leaves does it have? Is it a cardioid? You know, that kind of stuff. Name the classical curves. All the graphing information.
We have a quiz Wednesday and a quiz Friday.
Yes. But we've almost covered the entire, there's only 3 questions left.
We have homework over here, right?
Homework due this week?
It will be due this week, yeah. I'll make it due on quest day. They give you a break. No, we can't get number 8 done. And then we gotta do 9 and 10 too. So, for 8 and 10, a calculator is gonna be essential. So if you didn't bring one today, please get in the habit of bringing a calculator. I would probably have something to do over spring break, yeah.